What's up, y'all? It's your girl Malaysia, aka Zanilee, back with another YouTube video. If you are new to this channel, welcome. Please like and comment on this video, subscribe to this channel, and turn the post notifications on so you'll know every time I post. So today I wanted to talk about something that's really been on my mind lately: healing, and how it's not a linear process. I think we all have this idea that healing should be like climbing a staircase, one step after another, always going up, always getting better. But like, what happens when we reach a point where we feel like we've healed from something only to be triggered by something so small that makes us feel like we're all the way back down at square one? Lucky for everyone, I wanted to touch base on that a little bit today. Really how like sometimes our ego can hijack us in moments where we think we're good, and how realizing that we aren't as healed as we think we are doesn't mean all the work that we put in beforehand was for nothing. You're not behind in your healing, and no matter how many times you revisit old wounds or past traumas, that doesn't erase the progress that you made. You are a perfectly imperfect human being. Healing isn't a straight line. Healing could take you all the way up here, down here, just right here, and then back all the way down until you have to climb your way back up again. Healing is more of a spiral. You might revisit old wounds, old triggers, old emotions, and every time you do that, it's not necessarily a setback. Sometimes it is an opportunity to face something that you didn't see beforehand. I'm gonna be so real with you. I thought I healed from a lot of things, and then out of nowhere, I literally find myself reacting to something in a way that I thought that I would never do again. And I'm not even gonna lie to you, when that happens, it definitely do feel like every single thing that I've worked on up until that point was a whole lie. Like, it didn't even matter. Like, that shit was just like me being delusional. Like, I never really put in the work. But that's when I kind of reminded myself, you're not failing just because you're triggered. Alright, let's use this one situation that happened recently. Not too recent, but not too long ago either. I had an old coworker, right? For whatever reason, tried to call me out of my name. Actually, not tried, did call me out of my name. Because, bitch, what? All because I didn't have her number saved. Yes, guys, like, what the fuck? Like, that shit sound petty and childish as fuck, right? Like, it wasn't even that deep. Like, we hung out once outside of work. So yeah, she called me out my name and then blocked me. And that whole situation had me fucked up. I'm so serious, it had me fucked up. Initially, part of me was like, okay, you know what? This bitch is mad. Like, this is why your number isn't saved now. I'm not going to give this bitch the time of day. But in the back of my mind, it was like, no, you really going to let this bitch play with you? I'm like, oh, I shouldn't even care. I shouldn't even care. But I'm not going to lie. I definitely did care. I responded to her, and I'm not even gonna lie, I'm dead ass. I didn't even just respond to her because that bitch blocked me. So I texted her, was calling her on people's phones, and I really clocked all of her motherfucking tea. And she was hurt. She was butthurt trying to call me obsessed, but bitch, no, I just clocked your tea, and you're mad because if anything, you're obsessed. But see, look at me. I still got some healing to do from that situation. Back to what we're talking about. Because it's like, the more I think about the situation and the more I look at it, I literally see how ridiculous that I look. Like, I look so fucking ridiculous, y'all. In the moment my ego was in full swing, I'm like, oh no, yeah, you're not gonna play with me. I'm not gonna let nobody play with me. No, this bitch tried it. No, you're not getting away with this shit. You're not getting away with this shit. I'm gonna curse you the fuck out, and yeah, that's gonna be that. And it's like, even though I had in my head the whole time, Malaysia, just stop, it's not that serious, the louder voice in my head was just like, this bitch really got the nerve and audacity to play with me. Now that I gave y'all a little backstory on that situation, let me tell you how it applies to the topic at hand. This is where it gets tricky, right? Our ego can jump into a situation so quickly, especially when we feel like our worth is being questioned. And when I started thinking even deeper, I'm like, okay, this got me too worked up for no reason. Am I really mad at her? And then I was like, no, because it's not that serious. Like, if anything, she was hurt and she took that shit out on me. That shit had nothing to do with me. So what's really bothering me? Then I realized, yeah, that was my ego being threatened. And here's the truth behind it. This situation and the way I reacted really wasn't even about her. It was really about me. It triggered like a deeper part of me that still carries like a fear of being disrespected, of letting people get away with certain shit. And it's something I thought I healed from, something that I really thought that I learned to move past. But when a situation came up and I started thinking about it more and more, I realized I was not fully healed from that deep-rooted seed that was planted inside of my subconscious brain. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first had that realization, like, it kind of had me feeling stuck, because I'm just like, damn, what the fuck, like, I just put in all this work, like, bro, this shit is irritating. Why do I keep responding the same way to certain situations when I put in so much work? It's just like, I'm not changing. But I'm here to tell y'all, like I said before, just because you were triggered by something doesn't mean all the hard work you put in went to shit. It doesn't mean you're failing. You're learning, you're unlearning, you're growing, you're experiencing, you're going through a numerous amount of things constantly that's changing your mind, opening your perspective, and you're going to realize deeper truths within situations. And that's not always going to come as something that you would like. It comes in situations that make you uncomfortable, situations that can make you angry, situations that can make you sad. Listen to how you respond when you are at your worst moment, not when you're in your best moments or when you're at your highs. Listen to when you're at your lows. That really shows you who you are as a person and what you need to heal from. Water break because I'm feeling parched, but for my brand new Stanley. Gold and green, period. For a queen who loves gold and green. Period. Cheers. Yep. Period. Alright, sorry. I was very parched and I needed that water break. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Here's the thing that I really want you to understand. Healing is ongoing. It's not about getting to a point where you're perfect or where you're soft. We have this idea that healing means you won't hurt no more, you won't have triggers, that everything will be okay once and for all. But that's not true. Sometimes we could hurt from things that happened 3 days ago, 6 months ago, 9 years ago, and that's okay. Our body keeps score. Just because time has passed doesn't mean the trauma that you endured will go anywhere if you don't actually put the work in. And that means putting the work in every single time it shows up at your front doorstep. Don't open the door once. Deal with that situation every single time. You're allowed to still feel pain from the past. You're allowed to still be sensitive. And just because you're triggered, just because you feel raw emotions, doesn't mean you've gone backwards. It doesn't mean you haven't healed. It just means healing isn't a destination. It's a process. It's a cycle. It's a journey. And cycles can get messy sometimes. It's okay. This is why we have to stop treating our mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical health like a scoreboard. It's not about being at 100% all the time. It's not about having a perfect record. It's about showing up for yourself and actually doing the work. You know that work means revisiting the things that you thought were long behind you as well. When negative patterns pop back up, especially when you're in a state of uncertainty or like fear, it really can feel like everything is just like falling apart and crumbling down. But it's just life, and you really still learning how to navigate it. You're always going to learn how to navigate it. And that's everybody. That's not just you. Your journey might look different than the person next to you, but that doesn't mean they're not still healing, growing, learning, experiencing, unlearning. We're human. We're not meant to have it all figured out. Actually, we're souls having a human experience, not humans having a soul experience. And this is why it's important to stay grounded as well, because, you know, we go through these spiritual awakenings, we go through these paradox shifts, we go through these realizations, and it's just like we kind of forget that we still have to deal with the earthly things that happen around us. Yes, you are your soul. You are in a human world. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Life is messy. People make mistakes. You make mistakes. I make mistakes. Your mother and father made mistakes. Their parents made mistakes. Your children make mistakes. Their siblings make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. And like I said before, that's okay. A lot of us get trapped in this construct that if it's been like 6 months or 3 years, we should be over it by now. Time really is just a construct though. It's a unit of measurement that's based on external factors, not your internal growth. Just because it's been a certain amount of time doesn't mean you're done healing. Time doesn't dictate how fast you heal. You do. You can feel like you're stuck, but that doesn't mean you're failing, like I said. It just means in that current moment, you need to go deeper for yourself. You need to face deeper truths hidden within these experiences. There's always more to learn, more to unlearn, more to grow through. Healing is a spiral, not a ladder. So with all that being said, I want to leave off by saying this. If you're feeling like you're not where you thought you could be, or where you thought you should be, or like you're stuck in the same cycle, I really want you to take heed. Like, really remember this. You're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. You don't have to be 100% healed to be worthy, to be whole, or to make progress. You are a human being with flaws, triggers, with moments of weakness, even when it doesn't feel like it. And that's okay. The point is you keep going, you keep learning, keep growing. The work you've done isn't undone just because of one reaction. You haven't failed just because you were triggered. You are healing even when it doesn't feel like it. Even when it's messy, even when it's painful, you're doing the work, and that's what matters. And with that being said, thank you for being here with me tonight and joining me for a late night talk. If this episode resonated with you, I would really love to hear your thoughts. I want to know down in the comments, like, have y'all ever had a moment where you realized you weren't as healed as you thought you were? Tell me, how did you handle it? How did you get over it or get through it? Let's keep this conversation going. I want you guys to know that you all are doing amazing and that I'm so proud of you, and that just know if nobody else is cheering for you, God is. And I am, of course. And until next time, take care of yourself. And remember that healing is not a destination, it's a journey. Embrace the mess.